Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Marshall Experience, aka SLM Fantasy. Welcome in, guys, or welcome back. Either one. We're going to do a quick recap this week. We're going to recap last week's preseason games, fantasy wise, and then we're going to cover next week's predictions. So stay tuned for studs and duds. But here is a quick message from our friends at Sports Lounge Media. Check this out.
Yeah, it's that heat, no chill, all flame. Sports Lounge Live, we never play no games. Talking stats, trash, take static night. Step in the ring, bring facts and take flight. Sound up, lights flash, it's about to explode. Every mic drop heavy, every angle we load. From the court to the field, we call it how it feel. No script, just skill, this debate getting real. Sports Lounge Media, where fire meets the mic. Yeah, it's that heat, no chill, all flame. Sports Lounge Live, we never play no games. Talking stats, trash, take static night. Step in the ring, bring facts and take flight. Sound up, lights flash, it's about to explode. Every mic drop heavy, every angle we load. From the court to the field, we call it how it feel. No script, just skill, this debate getting real. Sports Lounge Media, where fire meets the mic. Say what you mean, cause we don't do polite. Welcome to the lounge.
Welcome to the lounge. Good time over here, guys. Appreciate you guys being here. Just before we start, always go follow us on all social media platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram being the big ones here. Us, Marshall Experience, and also the Sports Lounge Media, guys. You can catch us on both channels. But you can catch a lot more on Sports Lounge Media, including betting. You can catch out the Grand Slam, and when it comes to baseball, we cover WNBA. We cover it all, guys. So come check us out and come have some fun with us. So again, this week here at SLM Fantasy, we are going to be, again, weekly job here. We're going to be covering games previously from the previous week. Right now, obviously, we're doing preseason, but we're just kind of giving you an idea of what this kind of will look like come the NFL season. But we're going to cover the games that have already happened, go over those, recap those as quickly as we can, and then we're going to talk about some of the games coming up this week. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First game we're going to talk about is the Raiders and Texans. 22-20, the Raiders over the Texans. Aiden O'Connell came in, had a solid day, 166 yards and a touchdown on a rushing touchdown there. Mendoza, is still struggling in my opinion. Again, a rookie, but being the first overall pick, I'm not necessarily sure that I'm liking what I'm seeing, and in terms of catching up with the offense and being on the same terms as his wide receivers and running backs and tight ends. So he did only have 86 yards on 8 completions and a pick. On the Houston side, no touchdowns from either Stroud nor David Mills. 93 yards for Mills and only 27 on 4 completions for Stroud. Not a lot of action for Stroud, but a little bit of action in the running back department for both teams, though. Dylan Laub, who was a rookie 3 years ago, has been known as a special teams guy, but had 6 carries for a touchdown and a catch for 14 yards. Mike Washington, who has been talked about after the Gentry injury here, 9 carries on 56 yards, 2 catches for 18 yards. Again, big name. I definitely do think that he is the running back 2 if Gentry were to miss some time. So big waiver wire pickup there from Mike Washington. On the Houston side, Woody Marks, 4 carries, 37 yards, and a touchdown. Looked good in his limited time. Obviously, we learned that David Montgomery and himself, Woody Marks, will be more of a 50-50 split. I think they kind of even out each other's value, right? David Montgomery, definitely the goal line back. Woody Marks, I believe, will be the receiving back out of those two. So, it's kind of frustrating that it is kind of more of a 50-50 split for Montgomery, considering that's what he came from. With Gibbs, I think that he was kind of looking for a starting opportunity. and thought that he would have it in Houston, but Houston has decided otherwise, and definitely has said it's going to be more of a not guaranteed 50-50, but very close to 50-50 is what was said. Nothing really in the wide receiver department for either team. And also, not really for the tight end to come out that jumps off the page. Like I said, the quarterbacks didn't really have a good day. Everything was on the ground. Kickers, Fairbairn had two from 50 plus. That's pretty solid for kickers there. And then Matt Gay had one as well from 50 plus. So I love me some kickers, man. So kickers are a very undervalued position in fantasy, in my opinion. Raiders had a pick and 3 sacks, and the Texans had a pick and a sack. So overall, really a strong defensive game there. It was the run game that really stopped it there. Okay, now to the next game. 49ers against the Chargers won 41-17. It was an absolute demolish show. Let's go over some stats here. Adrian Martinez was a quarterback for 49ers as well as Mac Jones. Martinez went 8 for 17, 57 yards and a touchdown, but he also had 2 picks. Okay, Mac Jones added 89 yards on 6 completions and a carry for a yard there on a quarterback sneak. On the other side for the Chargers, we talked about DJ Uguele. Obviously didn't have a great rookie year, but sophomore year preseason looking pretty promising. 7 for 15, 80 yards and a touchdown, another 2-point conversion. Trey Lance also saw some time there. 10 for 16, 73 yards. And the highlight there, 2 carries for 42 yards. We love those rushing yards for quarterbacks equals fantasy points. Okay, obviously for the San Francisco 49ers, nobody really to jump off the page except for Sincere McCormick. I thought it was Sean. 6 carries, 53 yards, and a touchdown. Herbert also had a touchdown. So last week, literally as we're live, right, we're talking about Khalil Herbert, how he got released, right? I got a lot of hate for this because everybody was like, well, no, he's still on San Francisco. Well, yeah, but he wasn't for that time window. And I just wanted to clarify that. So he was released as of 8 days ago. Okay. Back with San Francisco as of 5 days ago. So it was a 3-day window to where he was not on a roster. And now he's back with San Francisco due to Patrick Taylor being placed on injured reserve. So they basically had released him. An injury happened. They brought him back. He ran for a touchdown, so he's actually made great time of his time in preseason. So, and then Kellon Black, the rookie, 8 carries for 33 yards. All right, Chargers side, nothing really. Vidal was the receiving back. Keaton Mitchell saw some time, nothing really promising. Wide receiver though, we got Jordan Watkins for the San Francisco 49ers. 3 for 4, 41 yards and a touchdown at 13.1 fantasy points. Also, Kaderil Hodge that came over from the Falcons. 4 for 4, 46 yards. Jacob Cowing continues to see a high volume and targets, guys. Jacob Cowing, 2 for 7. Now, obviously not catching them all or not great throws. Honestly, I'm not paying attention to all preseason games. I try to do my best, but did not watch San Francisco game, so I cannot speak on that. Another standout is that rookie Deshaun Stribling. Okay, has done well in preseason. San Francisco has a lot of injuries, guys. I think this guy is draftable in redraft leagues. 4 for 5, 46 yards. On the Charger side, we caught one for a touchdown. It was Jannard Bradley. Other than that, just some simple points. 3.6 being the highest. Nothing really to talk about. As for the kickers, Cameron Dicker had just 1. On the other side, Eddie Pinheiro had 2 from 40 plus and 5 extra points. Okay, so Again, Martinez had a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. Mac Jones had a no touchdowns, excuse me. McCormick, Herbert, touchdown each, and then Watkins was the receiving touchdown. As far as the defense, though, 49ers only had 1 sack, and the Chargers had 2 picks. So strong showing for the Chargers defense there. Might be a sneaky pick. On to the next game, Jets over the Steelers, 17-0. Geno Smith saw some action, actually played really well, 7 for 7, 65 yards and a touchdown. Obviously, that's not against starters. Just throwing that out there that, the stats are the stats. Drew Allar came in, saw some most of the time, 11 for 23, 110, no touchdowns. Will Howard came in, 10 for 15, 74 yards and 2 picks. So Will Howard kind of struggled there. Brady Cook did come in, 1 for 2, 31 yards and a touchdown. Okay. Pass deep left to Skinner. Quincy Skinner, 4 for 4, 47 and a touchdown. That was the highlight of the day out of the receiving room. Pittsburgh really didn't have any highlights. In the running back room, again, real scarce. Braylon Allen didn't see much time. Caleb Johnson, I'm really frustrated with Caleb Johnson. I was really high on him last year. He disappointed in this year, even in preseason, man. I mean, he's not averaging good yards per carry. He's just, the explosiveness is not there. No longer a Caleb Johnson fan. Let's just say that. Rico Dowdle came in for a little bit, 5 for 18, so that was promising. And then Jaylen Warren, 5 for 17. I think those are going to be a good duo this year for Aaron Rodgers. Jelani Woods coming over from the Colts to the Jets, caught a touchdown for 13 yards, and that was his fantasy production this week. And then for the Pittsburgh Steelers, rookie Lake McCree, undrafted free agent, 2 for 3, 46 yards. Maybe fighting for a roster spot there. Kickers, only action was the Jets, obviously being the Steelers were shut out. The Jets defense might be a sneaky pick this year, guys. Might be a sneaky pick. 2 interceptions, 4 sacks. And the Pittsburgh Steelers had 2 sacks to bring to the table. Next game to talk about here, the Panthers, 2-1 over the Jaguars, 34-17, who are 1-1 now. Some stats to talk about here. Honestly, quarterback play, each one threw for a touchdown in Carolina. Not bad quarterback play, pretty solid. Kenny Pickett went 15 for 25 and a touchdown. And Kyle Trask went 4 for 4, 52 yards and a touchdown. On the Jacksonville side, we saw Joey Aguilar, the rookie, and Nick Mullins, the veteran. Aguilar went 9 for 10, 130 and a touchdown. And Mullins went 6 for 7, 65 yards and a carry for 3 yards. So, honestly, really strong quarterback play from the Jags. In this game, it just wasn't enough to get it done. A.J. Dillon ran for a touchdown. Jonathan Brooks ran for a touchdown. The one highlight I will say for Jacksonville, is Amir Abdullah. Okay, veteran is going to be playing in his 11th year, age 33. I was actually watching this preseason game, and he hit the nastiest juke on I can't remember know his name because again preseason, but one of the linebackers, he came out on a screen and just hit him with one, and looked like there was some use still left in those bones. So 3 catches, 37 yards. On top of that, he also he might be fighting for a roster spot, but some PT could be flying in there too. For Carolina, Casey Washington, 4 for 5, 47 yards and a touchdown. John Mechie had the big day at 6 for 7, 77 yards. Ted McMillan, we saw play a little bit, 2 for 2, 25. And for the Jacksonville Jaguars, no starters played. However, Trebar Pena, Signed with them as an undrafted free agent, 4 for 4, 72 yards and a touchdown. Might be worth a dynasty stash there if he keeps that roll up. As far as the tight ends, nothing really jumps off the page there. But for the kickers, strong days from both. Carolina, 2 for 3. And Fitzgerald had 1 from 60 plus. 4 for 4 on extra points. Cam Little is one of the higher kickers in this year's draft, next to Brandon Aubrey. He's got the leg, guys. Today was an easy day for him. 3 for 3, 2 field goals, 30-39, and 1 field goal, 40 plus. Okay. As for the Panthers, said Carolina. Panthers defense, 1 interception and 1 sack. No stats here for the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is weird. But I can't imagine that they're good, allowing 34 points. All right, next game, Packers. Broncos. Packers over the Broncos 33-13. Both 1-1 now on the season. Preseason, I guess I should say. We did see some time from both starters. Jordan Love went 5 for 7 and a touchdown. And Bo Nix went 6 for 9 and a touchdown. Okay, their backups. Tyrod Taylor, 4 for 8, 17 yards and a touchdown. And then Jared Stidham, 9 for 15, 82 yards and a pick. For the running game, Marshawn Lloyd caught a touchdown, while Jaden Nixon, the rookie, ran for a touchdown there for the Packers. On the Denver side, I know that Harvey caught the touchdown from Nix. I did see that. There was a heck of a throw and catch. Harvey could be looked to carry a little bit more of a heavier role this year, and be interesting to see how J.K. Dobbins fits into that. In the receiving department, we had Will Shepard goes 6 for 6, 47 yards and a touchdown. Had a big day in the fantasy department for him, 16.7. We did see Watson. We did see Golden. A couple catches for them, nothing big, but 1 catch, 19 yards from Golden. It was a nice route. I did see that. Waddle. On the other side for Denver, Waddle, 1 catch, 1 target, 35 yards off a screen. He's going to have a big year, guys. I'm telling you, he is being undervalued at his ADP currently. Tight ends, again, nothing promising this week. However, the Green Bay kicker, Trey Smack, better be on your radar. If he is not on your roster, I need you to go check the waiver wire and make sure that this man is not on the waiver wire any longer, okay? 4 for 4, 1 field goal from 30 plus, 1 field goal from 40 plus, and 2 field goals from 50 plus, 3 for 3 on extra points. 20 points for Mr. Smack. Not only do I love his name, I like his fantasy production. On his counterpart, Will Lutz, the veteran, 2 for 2, 1 from 50 plus, and an extra point. Green Bay Packers defense, 1 pick, 2 sacks, no points for the Denver Broncos. Okay, next game, low-scoring game here. Lions over the Commanders, 17-13. They're both 1-1 on the preseason. For the Commanders, we saw Athan Kalamaninis. I always remember we called him AK last week. We're going to continue to do that. AK went 11 for 14, 162. And then Sam Hartman, the veteran, came in 9 for 11, 67 yards. Okay, for Detroit, Joshua Dobbs had a big rush. He had 2 carries for 53 yards and a touchdown on a read option. Solid preseason performance by Joshua Dobbs here. In the running back department, really, Katron Allen saw the bulk, 10 for 30. Not a strong day. But for Detroit, Travion Williams, 10 for 36 and a touchdown there, and he did have a catch for 24 yards. Wide receiver department, honestly, nothing pressing. Antonio Williams, I did like what I saw there, 3 for 3, 41 yards. And then Nick Nash as well, who was drafted last year, 2 for 2, 62 yards. Okay, tight ends again, nothing promising there. Honestly, kickers again, nothing promising. Jake Bates is a top contender there. Good, strong leg. Offense is strong. 1 for 2. Excuse me, 1 for 2. 1 from 30 plus. And then Stevens, Drew Stevens. He is a rookie for the Commanders. Wins the kicking job in Washington as of a week ago. And he went 2 for 2, 1 from 30 and 1 from 20 plus. Highlight here was the Commanders defense going for a pick and 5 sacks, while the Lions only had 2 sacks. All right. Next game, Buffalo Bills blew out the Browns 31-17. No Josh Allen this week. However, we did see Kyle Allen 10 for 12, 128 and a touchdown, out there looking like Josh Allen. Then his counterpart, Shane Belushi, 5 for 10, 111, a touchdown through the air and a touchdown on the ground. All right. Now, the debacle in Cleveland. Who is the starting quarterback has been answered. Is it the right answer? Well, you need to turn to our TikTok to find out if we think it's the right answer, because the answer is on our social medias. Both played. Deshaun Watson went 5 for 12, 36 yards and a pick. And Sanders went 9 for 11, 74 yards, a touchdown and a pick. I think those kind of speak for themselves, but, that's neither nor here or there. Running back room, nothing in the Browns department. Not a lot of offense for them, to be honest. Ray Davis came in, ran for a touchdown, as well as we saw a lot of Ian Wheeler, who was a third-year guy. 14 carries, 56 yards, and 2 catches for 21 yards. We also saw Frank Gore Jr. Get some reps there, 9 carries, 54 yards. I like the Bills' running back room. I think it's really strong. It's really in depth. All right. There is a Jamori Macklin, and when this guy's stats came up across the ticker one day, just say Jay Macklin, and I'm like as an Eagles fan, I'm having a flashback of Jeremy Macklin. When did he come back to the league? No, it's Jamori Macklin, and he's a rookie, 25 years of age though. Spent some time in the college scene. 2 for 3, 108 and a touchdown, 18.8. Okay. And then McCole Hardman came in and received a touchdown along with a carry. They might be able to get him involved in that wide receiver 3 spot this year. For Cleveland, we had Luke Flore. He's on a reserve future contract in Cleveland. So again, fighting for that spot. 2 for 4, 31 yards and a touchdown. Again, this week, not a lot of tight end strong performances. Kicker-wise, Tyler Bass did make a 50-plus yarder and 4 extra points. Bills, strong performance. Could be an underrated defense this year. 2 interceptions and a sack. And the Browns defense had a sack. And a lot of people have been asking me, what do you do with the Browns defense now? Being that Myles Garrett's gone, that, it's obviously, Jared Verse is not a slouch, but, going from Myles Garrett to Jared Verse, you are regressing. It is what it is. And so that was my answer. You know what I mean? I definitely think that they will regress. I do think they still have some pieces I believe in. Carson Switziger, Denzel Ward. They do have some Mason Graham. I think they have some great pieces along with Jared Verse. Obviously, Myles Garrett is the best defensive end in the league. And when you go from that to a young guy that maybe has a lot to learn, or, just, again, learning a brand new defense, right? While Myles Garrett was consistent and comfortable in that defense. So just regression is the answer. Next game, we're going to talk about Falcons and Colts. Falcons blew them out 34-6. We're seeing a strong preseason performance from Jack Strand, and actually in a dynasty league, I had picked him up and dropped another player for him to just put him on the taxi squad because honestly, let's think about it, right? What is the quarterback situation like in Atlanta? Not well. Tua is in a brand new scene, has to still prove that he belongs in the NFL, in my opinion. Michael Penix, young, is coming off of an ACL tear. Again, has to rebounce and come back from what wasn't a great season anyway. And now you have Cooper Rush, you have Jack Strand. Jack Strand has looked good this preseason. I mean, there are guys there's Falcon fans that I've seen, streamers that are talking about they really think they found the franchise quarterback type shit. I'm not so sure I'm there yet, but I think it is something to pay attention to. Okay, Jack Strand went 12 for 17, 2 for 12 and a touchdown. 9 carries for 22 yards and a touchdown. Okay, on top of that, Cooper Rush came in, went 10 for 11, 86 yards. Okay, so no turnovers by the Atlanta quarterbacks, which was strong. On the flip side, for the Colts, not great quarterback play. Okay, Riley Leonard, 7 for 14, 62 yards, and a carry for 2 yards. Richardson, 3 for 9, 24 yards, 3 carries, 15 yards. Just not strong quarterback play. Not strong offense overall by the Colts. The one highlight for me was Anderson Castle. He's a running back, rookie, 8 carries, 41 yards. Pretty strong, solid, 5 yards per carry, right? We like to see that. Now, for Atlanta, Cash Jones, he is a rookie. He is pushing for a spot on the Falcons roster as more of a gadget player. Okay, he is an undrafted rookie out of Georgia. A lot of Georgia fans know Cash Jones. He had 7 carries, 41 yards, 4 for 4 and catches, 62 yards and a touchdown. Very strong performance there at 20.3. Okay. Also, Tyler Goodson came over from the Colts. 6 carries, 59 yards, and a touchdown. Nathan Carter also ran for a touchdown on 17 carries. So it was a lot of run game to help out these quarterbacks in their performance this week for the Falcons. Quarterback play did not produce anything in the receiving department for the Colts, nor did it really for the Falcons. Again, tight end room disappointing. Nick Folk, 2 for 2 for the Falcons at 50 plus for 4 for 4 with extra points. Spencer Schrader has been a top, kicker option as well. 2 for 2, a field goal 40 plus and a field goal 50 plus. Colts defense did have 0 points, while the Falcons had 2 sacks for 9 points. All right, next game we're going to talk about is the Ravens over the Vikings, 13-3. We got Joe Fagnano in line to compete for the number 3 quarterback job. Went 15 for 20, 123, a touchdown. While Tyler Huntley came in 5 for 8, 63 yards. Minnesota, nothing promising here. Wentz 9 for 11, 92 yards. And then Brosmer 11 for 17, 98 yards, and a touchdown. Running backs, honestly, nothing to talk about for either team. Nothing promising. Wide receivers, though, we had, LeJohntay Wester. Second-year guy for Baltimore, 5 for 7, 24 yards, and a touchdown. Just seemed like a dunk-off type of guy, but got that score. For Minnesota, really, Dylan Bell, I guess we could say. 9 targets is pretty solid with 6 catches for 51 yards, but just no touchdown production there kind of kept him limited, right? For tight ends, I mean, realistically, one of the better performances for 3 for 4, 46 yards for Josh Cuevas for Baltimore. Now, kicker-wise, Tyler Loop, 2 for 2, 1 from 20 plus and 1 from 40 plus. And then Will Reichert, 1 field goal from 50 plus. Defense was impressive, guys. The Ravens defense, now it was Minnesota, no starters. I get that. 17 points, a pick, and 5 sacks was really, really promising there. Vikings defense had 5 points with 13 points allowed and a sack. Giants again demolished. A lot of one-sided matchups this week. Giants 26, Dolphins 3. Okay, not going to have a lot to talk about for the Dolphins, so we'll get that out of the way. But Giants-wise, Jameson Winston came in, ran for a touchdown. And we did not see Jackson Dart. We did see Brandon Allen go 13 for 18 and 101. Running back-wise, Eric Gray saw some action. 10 carries, 33 yards. Not a lot of promise there, however. Receiving department, 6 for 8, 37 yards. We did see 2 of the committees here, Devin Singletary and Tracy. Singletary ran for a touchdown while Tracy came in with 6 carries and caught 3 passes. Darius Slade had one of the bigger days along with Calvin Austin. Darius Slayton, 4 for 6, 58 yards. And then Calvin Austin had a carry on a jet sweep for 21 yards while he went 2 for 2 for 24 yards. Odell saw some time there as well. Tight end, again, nothing promising. Maybe, Thomas Fedone, 4 for 5, 29 yards. Again, just seems like a lot of possession catches there, but PPR leagues, hey, that works. All right, Dominic Zavada, fighting for that roster spot in the kicking department for the Giants. He won Big Ten Kicker of the Year for Michigan. He went 2 for 2, 1 from 30 plus and 1 from 40 plus. For Miami, Riley Patterson, 1 for 1 from 50. Again, defense from Miami, not strong, but the Giants, 3 points allowed and 2 sacks for 14 points. Again, another blowout. Rams over these Saints, 34-0. Obviously not going to have a lot to talk about with the Saints, but Rattler threw a pick. Zach Wilson threw a pick. Keandre Miller played a little bit. Devin Neal played a little bit. Nothing meaningful. As for the Rams, Stetson Bennett had a great day. 19 for 31, 181, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Again, fighting for a roster spot, man. I mean, they drafted Ty Simpson. He's clearly under some duress, under some pressure. Ty Simpson did come in 8 for 12, 73 yards. Highlight for the Rams was their running back department, though, with Jaquez Hunter going 12 carries for 68 yards and a touchdown. And then Jordan Waters, 10 carries for 54 yards for the Rams. Okay, for the Rams, also CJ Daniels. Okay, rookie. Spent a 6-year college career that spanned 3 schools, Liberty, LSU, and Miami. 8 for 13, 68 yards, 13 targets, guys. That is something to pay attention to. Okay, that's not by accident. Max Clare did see some action still here in preseason. 4 for 6, 12 yards. Not liking that. The yardage is not there, but the targets and the catches in a PPR league could be sneaky for a dynasty. Okay, now Harrison Mevis, who is my kicker in fantasy this year, 2 for 2. 2 field goals for 20 plus and 4 extra points. Okay, no points for the Saints defense. However, for the Rams, top defense to draft this year. 2 interceptions, 0 points allowed, and a sack. I think you guys are going to see a lot of that this year. Okay, next game to talk about, Bengals and Bears. We got 4 games here left, guys. Bengals over the Bears, 27-9. Okay, quarterback-wise, nothing promising for the Bears. Case Keenum and Miller Moss, the rookie, saw some time here. Okay, for Cincinnati, Josh Johnson continues his strong preseason performance. 15 for 23, 156, 2 touchdowns, and a carry. Okay, Clifford, 10 for 15, 126, and a touchdown. Also threw a pick, though. For the running back department, Salvon Ahmed. Okay. I think he is standing out in performances with some of their running backs getting hurt. Okay. Highlighted by a 49-yard touchdown catch last week, but this week, 6 carries, 36 yards for 8 points. Again, but solid in the receiving department, 3 for 5. Roschon Johnson still over there in Chicago, 12 for 42. For Cincinnati, nothing strong in the running back department. For the Bears, we continue to talk about Maurice Alexander, 5 for 5, 60 yards, and J.P. Richardson, 5 for 9, 48 yards. We did see a Dunze there for a little bit, 1 for 2 for 18. Okay, for the Bengals. Okay, and this guy's been a waiver wire pickup. He's been trending on your list. It's going to be Colby Young. Okay, I think he is in competition for that number 3 spot with Andre Ilozovis. Obviously we had a bunch of people had a scare the other day with Jamar Chase with the knee injury. I think he will be fine. It's just a little hyperextension. No worries there. But Colby Young has been a preseason highlight. 3 for 8, 48 yards, and a touchdown. Okay, another guy to pay attention to, Dante Myers. Got involved in the rushing game for 9 yards and then had 5 for 6 and 41 yards in the receiving game. Tight ends, probably, the only tight end we can talk about that caught a touchdown this week, Tanner Hudson. 2 for 3, 17 yards, and a touchdown. Kicker showed out. Carlos Santos, 3 for 4, a field goal, and 2+ from 40. Evan McPherson for the Bengals, 2 for 2, 1 from 20, and 1 field goal, 50+ with 3 extra points. Honestly, Bears defense, I think they are draftable. Bengals, I'm going to struggle with until proven otherwise, but they did have 2 sacks, so we'll say that. Next game to talk about, and a downer. The Patriots did come out on top of the Eagles 24-21. Honestly, it was a good game. I honestly wasn't mad about it. Really bad quarterback play, in my opinion. Dalton went 3 for 10 for 44 yards. He struggled out of the gate, which got us behind. Tanner McKee came in, just wasn't making the greatest decisions. Did go 16 for 22. Did throw for 2 touchdowns, so he had the better day out of all the quarterbacks. I will agree there. Tommy DeVito, I was a little frustrated with his rushing. 3 carries for 44 yards. We couldn't seem to keep him contained. He did throw for a touchdown as well. And then Baheen Morton, I hope I'm saying that right. Probably not. Did come in through for a touchdown too. Our corners just got burnt most of the day. It was kind of frustrating. Nick DiGiorano, rookie wide receiver, 4 for 5, 61 yards and a touchdown. And then we had a deep ball that got burnt from Kyle Williams. That was also a touchdown. Efton Chisholm looked good for the Patriots as well. 4 for 4, 45 yards. For the Eagles in the receiving department, Brenton Covey did catch a touchdown from McKee. Darius Cooper went for 44 yards. Nothing else than that. Player of the week in fantasy, Carson Steele for the Eagles, 23.7 points. He had 12 carries for 33 yards. 6 carries for 7 targets for 84 yards and a touchdown. This man has, I feel like, just fed off of Saquon. Okay. Hurdled not one, but two. He's just running with explosiveness, doesn't care about, the contact, which is a good and bad thing, right? But he's running with a purpose, guys. Carson Steele very well might make this roster, and I think that Will Shipley should be concerned. Now, Tank Bigsby, no. Right, we're not going that deep. However, I think that he could make that running back 3, running back 4 role. Speaking of Will Shipley, he did have 11 carries for 56 yards and a touchdown. Strong day on the performance in the run game and in the checkdowns for the Eagles. For the New England Patriots in the run game, Lan Larson, 9 carries, 33 yards and a touchdown, and then he had 3 catches for 41 as well. Tight ends, we did have a decent day from Stone Smart, who's going to be, more of our blocking tight end. But he had 5 catches for 37 yards, which, I mean, again, those PPR leagues, they equal up, right? Kickers, nothing to scream about. I think that both are on the lower end of draftable, and I can say that as an Eagles fan. I'm not a fan of Jake Elliott, really. The New England kicker we've already talked about going 2 for 5 last week. You can't do that, man. That's when you start having your boss look for another kicker. Eagles did have 4 sacks while the Patriots had 2. No picks on the day for the defenses. Okay, 3 more games to talk about. Buccaneers over the Chiefs, 16-15. Let's see here. Justin Fields, 9 for 12, 64 yards, while Nussmeier, I do like Nussmeier. I do think that he looks like he belongs in the NFL. With his footwork, the way he moves up in the pocket, I do like what I see from Garrett Nussmeier. He did go 9 for 17, 74 yards. On the flip side, Jalen Daniels, not Jaden, Jalen Daniels, had a big day, 9 for 14, 71 yards and a touchdown. It was a very nice pass for a touchdown at that. Jake Browning also had a strong day, 8 for 11 and 84 yards. In the rushing department, we had Sean Tucker run for a touchdown, while Emmett Johnson also ran for a touchdown as a rookie for the Chiefs. Let's see here. Jalen Royals in the receiving department, 6 for 6, 51 yards. And then the talk about out of camp, Cyrus Allen, the rookie for the Chiefs, 3 for 5, only 7 yards. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Dean Patterson, rookie. Georgia Tech, 6 for 7, 56 yards, while we had Cameron Johnson, the 3-year guy, 4 for 5, 56 yards. No strong tight end play. Coke Kieft, I think is like their 3rd or backup tight end, 2 for 4, and a touchdown. Bucker was the talk of the week, right? The 69-yarder field goal. Had 13 points at the end of the day. Pretty strong performance, and I think that he is a top 3 kicker in the league for sure. Chiefs 3 sacks, Buccaneers a pick and 2 sacks. Cowboys over the Cardinals, 34-13. Joe Milton had a fantastic day. If it wasn't for Steele, I'd probably say that he's arguably the better quarterback of the week for sure. But I have him as a top 2 player of the week here. 9 for 13, 179 and 2 touchdowns, and then he ran for a touchdown as well. The deep bomb was just a beautiful pass down the left side of the sideline, and I was, even as an Eagles fan, I was memorized, right? I was honestly like, nice ball. That's what we've been talking about, that arm. Sam Howell came in, did not play well, threw a pick. Minshew for the Cardinals threw a pick as well. And Keydon Slovis, 2 for 7, 30 yards, and a carry for 11. So not strong quarterback play for the Cardinals there. They did have Corey Kiner run for a touchdown. On the Dallas side, they had Malik Davis caught one for 8 yards, a touchdown. Jadon Blue saw most of the carries for the day, 15 for 75. And then we had Phil Mafah, who was last year an undrafted rookie, got one shot and one touchdown. So, good performance by him. In the receiving department, Mingo did catch that deep ball, ended up 62 yards and a touchdown. Strong performance. Camden Brown might push for a roster spot on Dallas and could be somebody to watch. 2 for 4, 77 yards, has good afterburner speed. For Arizona, nothing promising. Again, bad day from the quarterbacks there. Kickers, excuse me. Brandon Aubrey, the top guy there, 12 points, 1 from 50 and 4 extra points. Ryland did go 2 for 3, 2 field goals from 30 plus. And defensive wise, the Cowboys, I'm not so sure either of these defenses are draftable, maybe streamable for the Cowboys, but they had a pick and 2 sacks, while the Cardinals had a pick and a sack. Last game to talk about here this week on week 2. It is the Titans over the Seahawks, 19-16. Okay, quarterback play wasn't strong for either side. Cam Ward, 69 yards, and that's it. Will Levis, 15 yards. Drew Lock came in and threw 103 and a touchdown on 12 completions, while Milroe threw 2 picks. Okay, the highlight for these Seattle Seahawks was Jakarta Wright. Second-year player, 8 carries, 81 yards, and a touchdown. And he also caught 3 passes. For Tennessee, DeHernest Johnson ran for a touchdown, while Joey Chestnut got most of the carries there, along with DeHernest Johnson at 8 carries for 48 yards. Wide receiver department, not a lot to talk about there. Again, poor showing from the quarterbacks. Tight end department, however, this would be probably the best tight end. Elijah Arroyo, 2 for 4, 50 yards and a touchdown. Strong showing by him. I have heard good things about him and A.J. Barner maybe having to split 50-50. For Tennessee, Joey Sly was the player of the week for them, 4 for 4 on field goals and an extra point, 17 points. Strong outing from Joey Sly. Seattle had 3 sacks, and the Titans had 2 interceptions and 2 sacks. I honestly think that the Titans defense, guys, could be one of those streamable options for sure. So, that is the recap for week 2, but we are not done. We are going to be now previewing week 3, but before we do that, here's a quick message from our friends at Sports Lounge Media. Stay tuned.
Yeah, it's that heat, no chill, all flame. Sports Lounge Live, we never play no games. Talking stats, trash, take static night. Step in the ring, bring facts to take flight. Sound up, lights flash, it's about to explode. Every mic drop heavy, every angle we load. From the court to the field, we call it how we feel. No script, just skill, this debate getting real. Sports Lounge Media, where fire meets the mic. Yeah, it's that heat, no chill, all flame. Sports Lounge Live, we never play no games. Talking stats, trash, take static night. Step in the ring, bring facts to take flight. Sound up, lights flash, it's about to explode. Every mic drop heavy, every angle we load. From the court to the field, we call it how we feel. No script, just skill, this debate getting real. Sports Lounge Media, where fire meets the mic. Say what you mean, cause we don't do polite. Welcome to the lounge.
Welcome back in, guys. And we just recapped week 2. If you're just now joining us, you need to go check that out. Again, follow us on all Instagrams, all platforms, Instagram included, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. We produce all episodes on there, and they are free to watch. Just subscribe, follow, and you will get those as you please. So what are we going to do to finish the night is we're going to cover week 3. We're going to try to move this along as quickly as possible. Now, do understand that this week in preseason is week 3, right? You might start seeing a lot more starters playing a full quarter or a couple drives. We might see in more or less of the players that aren't going to make the roster or aren't fighting for roster spots, and more so those competitions. So we have the Steelers, Buffalo. I have Buffalo winning this one. I have a little parlay going in, so when I see him, I'll let you know. But I do have the Bills beating the Steelers again. I'd really like to see what Eli Hendrick from Navy, the running back. I'd really like for him to get involved and kind of see. I have him as a dynasty stash right now. I'd be kind of curious to see if he's really worth holding on to. Dowdle is on a 1-year contract. Jalen Warren, I'm not sure how long he's going to be here or what his contract looks like, but I mean, they drafted him for a reason, right? Nothing really, there's no competition here. There's no battles that I'm really interested in here. I do have the Bills. I do think that we see a little bit of Josh Allen. Not a lot though. Next game, Patriots, Browns. I do not have this as a parlay, but I would say the Patriots for sure. May see some Drake May in there. Definitely some Watson and Sanders, and they're going to try to figure out that the best they can. I think they need to revisit it if they were to ask me. Other than that, nothing really screams off the page. I mean, I need to see some Casey Conception, some Denzel. But I need to see this wide receiver core for Cleveland and see some players step up here. Again, nothing that jumps off the table as of training camp battles here. Who's going to make, who's the starter, who's not the starter. San Francisco and the Raiders. I do have the Raiders winning this one as my part of my parlay. I need to see something from Mendoza. I need to see something from the number 1 overall pick. I'd like to see a little bit of Cousins as well. Get acclimated in this offense. Obviously, I don't think we see Genty, but Mike Washington does excite me. And again, doubt you see CMC or Purdy. More of so of Martinez and Mac Jones for sure. But Kellen Black really needs to step it up if he wants to be that go-to guy after CMC is gone. In the wide receiver room, I'd really like to see Cowing, Stribling. Let's see if those target shares keep up there. And for Las Vegas, really, who's going to be that the guy that separates? Obviously, we got Naylor, Beck. I'm trying to think who else is over there, but that wide receiver 3 spot very well could be open. No competition in the tight end room. Quarterback wise, again, I doubt we see Matthew Stafford, where it's going to be more of a Ty Simpson and a Stetson Bennett, which I'm okay with. I like Stetson Bennett and his bounce back. So I do have the Rams winning this one in my parlay. Herbert, Lance. I don't think you see Herbert. I think again it's more DJ Ugalele and Trey Lance. Again, the running back department for the Rams, I'm curious. Dean Connors has looked good in preseason. Now, who's going to separate themselves in the Charger room as well? I mean, Hampton needs a running mate. Keaton Mitchell has not looked promising. Vidal has struggled to pick up the last couple of years. And then Jarrett Patterson, honestly, has been the best looking one out of the 3. But I mean, realistically, what does that look like? So, CJ Daniels, can he keep that up for the Rams? And, just a couple things to watch there. Commanders, Ravens. I do have the Ravens winning this one. Again, I don't think you see Jaden Lamar or anything like that. Possibly, and that's where it's like it's week 3. You could start seeing a couple of drives from that. But these are what those joint practices are for. That's what the practices are for. I mean, the starters and the guys that are money protected, you really don't see until week 1. Running back room, obviously we've talked about Katron Allen. Continue to watch that. And then who's going to be the second guy behind Henry? Is it Justice Hill? Is it Rasheen Ali? You got Adam Randall, the rookie, kind of trying to fight his way in there too. So Baltimore running back room is something to pay attention to. Next game, Houston and Carolina. This will be a good game here. Not in my parlay, but I probably would say Houston. Might see some more game time from McMillan and Coker and Jimmy Horn and those guys. Maybe I would say Bryce Young. You would see some Bryce Young there, but Kenny Pickett and the other guy would probably be the majority of that. But a couple drives from Bryce Young wouldn't hurt anybody. That tight end department went from no show to possibly something, in my opinion, when they signed Darren Waller. Tremble and Sanders are now able to not take that lead role, and could be something to watch. Okay, the Falcons and Dolphins. Okay, I'm paying attention to that quarterback room. Tua, Penix. They said today that you would probably not see Penix. However, I'm looking at Tua. I'm looking at Strand. I'm quite curious. So, running back room for the Dolphins. Who's going to step up and be that second guy for Achane? Right? Wide receiver room. I mean, who is it going to be? I mean, they got Jalen Reagor, Malik Washington, Kevin Coleman, who's a rookie. I mean, it's Caleb Douglas. Let's not forget about Caleb Douglas, but it's rough waters over there. Okay. Tampa Bay and Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, Lawrence Mayfield, not so sold on that we'll see them, but running back room, right? For the Jags. Again, Bashaw Tootin is clearly the guy there. But after him, is it going to be LaQuint Allen? Is it going to be Jamari Taylor or newly acquired Chris Rodriguez? So might be something to pay attention to for the handcuff there. Next game, Giants and Jets. They play in MetLife, the home of the home. Nothing really to pay attention to here. I mean, I'm good. Maybe Najee Harris see some time. It'd be interesting to see him in the offense and how he's going to be acclimated. The Giant wide receiver room. What does it look like? I think it's deep. I just don't know how deep. I mean, they got Neighbors, Malachi Fields, Slayton, Mooney, Hyatt, Calvin Austin, Odell. It is deep, but how deep? Nothing really in the tight end room that I'm really necessarily worried about. Saints and Cowboys. I think the Cowboys win this game for sure. Joe Milton has played good this preseason. Might see some Tyler Shuck there. After ETN, the running back room in the New Orleans Saints needs to be figured out. And the same for the Cowboys. Who's going to come after Javonte Williams' job? Is it going to be Malik Davis, Jadon Blue, the second-year guy? Is it going to be this Phil Maffa who seems to be getting a couple more touches every week? Just kind of thing. How does Jonathan Mingo fit into this? Is he the wide receiver 4? How does he work into this? Bryce Lance. Can Bryce Lance continue his promising preseason? Couple things to watch there. Next game is going to be Packers and Cardinals. Cardinals at the Packers. Carson Beck, Brissett might see both of those, kind of considering that I'm not sure that quarterback job has been chosen yet. Jordan Love obviously is the starter with Tyrod Taylor there. Anything to watch? Really, nothing for me. Savion Williams, can he continue his hot streak? Sky Moore, what does that wide receiver room look like in Green Bay? Maybe Seahawks and the Chiefs. I doubt we see Darnold or Mahomes, but Justin Fields, Drew Lock, those kind of guys, Newsmeyer, right? Might see more of Kenneth Walker, in my opinion, though. Hopefully we see some, will not play Sunday against the Titans, but might play. Definitely going to play week 1 here. Charbonnet's still hurt. Giorgio Alani's been trying to take over. Emmanuel Wilson came over from the Packers to the Seahawks. What does that kind of look like after that? Obviously, after Kenneth Walker left, what does that running back room look like? It'll be kind of a weird game for Kenneth Walker here. A lot of familiar faces to see. Again, Cyrus Allen, what does he look like? Can he continue that hot streak he's had in this preseason and in training camp? And then I'm still paying attention to that Seattle tight end room. Is it going to be AJ Barn or Elijah Arroyo? Who's going to really come out on top here? Then we have the Bengals coming to the Link in Philadelphia. Okay, honestly, again, I don't think you see Burrow. I don't think you see Hurts. If it's frustrating for me as an Eagles fan, because I get frustrated that we don't play our starters in the preseason, but not my call, right? So I don't think you see Burrow. I don't think you see Hurts. I think it's, again, more of the same. Andy Dalton, Tanner McKee. Try to figure out maybe which one of those you're going to keep. Cole Payton being the rookie there. Running back room, I'd still like to see that running back 3 battle in Philadelphia be figured out. Will Shipley, Dameon Pierce, or Carson Steele. Right, I would like to see those 3 go at it and really outperform one another. So, running back room, our wide receiver wise, we do have that Colby Young that has the promising start here. We also have the Keyshawn Williams, who was drafted last year, and Michael Tinsley, who has been around for a little bit for comfortability. In the Philadelphia room, I would say, there's a big question in the wide receiver department. Obviously, you have Devontae, but after that, is it Wicks? Is it Hollywood Brown? Is it Malachi Lemon? Is it does Elijah Moore make the roster? Does Darius Cooper? There's a lot of questions that surround the wide receiver room for the Eagles, and it'll definitely be something to watch there. Minnesota comes to Denver, Mile High. I think you actually might see some Kyler Murray here, and I'd be curious to be why you wouldn't see Kyler Murray in the preseason, being in a new team. But some JJ, hopefully, Brosmer, Wentz. I'm not sure why we haven't seen JJ. He's sitting out practice. Oh, he's sitting out practice due to an ankle injury. Perfect. So probably will not see him. Maybe see some Murray, Brosmer, Wentz. For Denver, I think Bo Nix might do a couple drives this week, and then along with Jared Stidham there. In the running back department, Denver, right? Who is going to be that? I think it's Dobbins and RJ Harvey, right? That's no question. However, Jonah Coleman, you have Jaleel McLaughlin, Tyler Batty, like, who is going to be that running back 3? And I think that's something that Denver has to figure out there. Let's see here. I'm just going over rosters and just matchups here. Nothing promising there. Detroit against the Colts in Indianapolis. Okay. Joshua Dobbs, can he continue that strong preseason performance? And then really, can Riley Leonard or Anthony Richardson solidify themselves as the quarterback 2? I think based off of last year and Riley Leonard starting all those games, I think it should be Riley Leonard, but I could have told you it should have been Shadur, but there's no telling anymore. Nothing promising here that I'm really paying attention to, positional wise. Any battles? Last game we're going to talk about is the Bears going to Tennessee. It is going to be, I think we do see Cam Ward, Will Levis, like we have been, but, I'd be interesting to see if we see Caleb for a couple drives here this week. Nothing screams off the page for like quarterback or, positional battles here. I think it's Carnell Tate, Wandale Robinson, Calvin Ridley, and DK. That makes sense, right? Burden Odunze, Loveland, I guess you could kind of consider who's going to replace DJ Moore. I think that is Burden, but who's going to replace Burden is that wide receiver 3. So I think that Maurice Alexander has had a strong preseason. and could be making a name for himself there. Okay. That's the last game we're going to talk about this week, guys. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate everybody's weekly support. Again, please follow us on all, social media platforms. That is Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. We are going under a rebrand, as we mentioned last week, but that's just us going full effort into Sports Lounge Media. We are going to be called Sports Lounge Media Fantasy. We are excited about the rebrand, but it's the same experience, the same show you guys get, same me, just, kind of different look. And we're excited about that and excited about the future. So please stay tuned for that. And again, I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I appreciate everybody that supports. You mean a lot to me and mean a lot to my family as well. So, everybody, hope everybody has a great week. Labor Day coming up, but, we will see you next Wednesday at 6:00. And here as a closing message is from our friends at Sports Lounge Media. You guys have a good week, and thank you.
Yeah, it's that heat, no chill, all flame. Sports Lounge Live, we never play no games. Talking stats, trash, takes that ignite. Step in the ring, bring facts to take flight. Sounds up, lights flash, it's about to explode. Every mic drop heavy, every angle reload. From the court to the field, we call it how it feel. No script, just skill, this debate getting real. Sports Lounge Media, where fire meets the mic. Yeah, it's that heat, no chill, all flame. Sports Lounge Live, we never play no games. Talking stats, trash, takes that ignite. Step in the ring, bring facts to take flight. Sounds up, lights flash, it's about to explode. Every mic drop heavy, every angle reload. From the court to the field, we call it how it feel. No script, just skill, this debate getting real. Sports Lounge Media, where fire meets the mic. Say